Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for watching this video. I would like to, today I would like to walk you through one of the demo which I've created for RAG, which is called Retrieval Augmented Generation in AI. It's one of the technique used in AI to read your private data, not from the trained model. Okay. Whenever you chat with LLM, basically it gives you the output from the trained model, right? If, for example, if you're chatting with Chat GPT, if you're asking some queries or questioning or reasoning, so it'll give you the answer by the model which has been trained, which is called pre-trained model. Here we are using one of the technique called RAG, which will actually add data or add your uh, input as a generation, and it augments to your input and gives you as an output. Okay, I've prepared a slide. I will just you know I'll explain you these details. Then probably you'll understand what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, let me open my presentation. Okay, yes. All right. So yeah, sure. Okay. Right now, if you just see this one, this is called retrieval augmented generation. Okay. What exactly retrieval augmented generation means? As I said before, it's a technique to enhance your LLM or the foundation model with external knowledge base. Basically, in AI model, it's called grounding. Okay, to improve your accuracy and relevance to your generator purpose or response. As I said before, if you chat with any of the AI model, it'll give you the response. But how does it give the response? It gives the response by the trained one, right? How it was trained, it gives you the model, it gives you the output. Okay. By using a RAG, it gives you a more data or accuracy data by your own resources. For example, if you want data to be feed it to your LLM, you can give your own data, right? For example, if you want to give a PDF, thousands of PDF, and you want to retrieve it from using a model like human language processing, it is easily possible using a retrieval augmented generation. I've created a demo and I will definitely walk you through that. Then you will easily understand what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So before that, why do we really need to go with RAG? So what are the benefits, right? As I said before, it's backed by your own data, not from the trained model, right? And it reduces hallucinations, right? Whenever you chat with your any AI model, there's a disclaimer saying that it might generate an inaccurate data. Sometimes it might hallucinate, right? It might not give you the right answer. But by using RAG, you can actually reduce your hallucinations. And it updates knowledge without retraining the model. You need not to train the model. When you just put your files or data onto your RAG or the source, it will give you the exact data what you are actually looking for. Okay. And it just keeps your data more private and more secure, right? You can actually do a lot of security. So which is more secure to have this one. All right. And there are other stuff like, it's completely offline. You need not worry about that. And you can reduce your cost and everything, which I can walk you through the details in my coming slides. Okay. And this is the logical architecture, which talks about it's just nothing but it's a conceptual architecture also. So it means whenever you chat to your LLM or to the mod, basically there are different processes, right? So what happens when you chat with LLM or a foundation model? You actually type like saying that what is your name, right? What exactly it interpret. LLM will not understand the human languages, right? The machine will not understand what you're exactly talking about. So basically your words will be broken into pieces. The pieces are called tokens. Each tokens will be assigned a token ID. Okay. The token ID will be having a vectors, right? For example, what is your name, right? What will be a separate token? Is will be a separate token. Your will be a separate token, and name is a separate token. Sometimes in a big word, probably the word can be broken even further, and even that will be considered as a token, right? I'm giving an example. Don't get into more details. So that particular word will be embedded, right? What exactly embedding means? Like, it will actually add more list of numbers to a particular token. For example, what is your token? And you will have list of numbers that's called dimensions, right? That particular dimensions will be used to predict your next word, right? So these will be actually on the fly, it will be stored. Sometimes it might stored in a vector database, right? For example, S3 is one of the best example. S3 vectors, right? So these are stored for vector database. But in generally, these vector database vectors will be stored on the fly in LLM. Okay, let's not go into that detail. Let's come back to this. Okay, so this is the process which happens, and once the process happens, and it gives you the output, right? But in RAG, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an extra file to my system, my private data, and I'm asking LLM saying that, okay, I want some information in the file, right? If I have 1,000 data PDF in my system, I want to read, I cannot go and read all the 1,000 of PDF, right? Which is very difficult. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed that LLM saying that I want this particular information in this particular file. Give me the answer. So LLM will actually will go back to the file, it do the embedding process and retrieve the data and augment to your response and give you the answers, right? That's why it's called Retrieval Augmented Generation. It retrieves the data, augments what you need, and generate the data, what exactly your response is all about, okay? The workflow, which I've already told, this is the workflow. So here, I'm using a few of the tools, which I will definitely let you know in the next slide, saying that embedding. So I told what exactly the embedding is all about. Embedding is done by a process, a LLM model called Hugging Face. So I'm using a Hugging Face. It's a basic level of model, Mini LM L6 version 2, which is a very basic level of model, which will run for embedding process. And I'm using a vector stores, which is locally on my laptop, where I've installed FAISS, which actually do the vectors. Basically, it's a persistent storage, right? As I told, vectors are basically on fly in LLM, but I want to have a persistent, which I have to store it in my local laptop, because sometimes my answers are repetitive. Sometimes it might not give the exact answer what I'm looking for. So I want that data to be persistent. So I'm storing that in my local machine. And I'm using a LLM background for my text generations. All right. That's called Ollama. I've installed in my local laptop. Okay, let me show that exactly. If you just see this one, it says Open Ollama, right? Example, you can just see this one, right? This is the Ollama one. Okay, where is this one? Let me show this. Okay. All right, this is the one. All right, this is the one which I'm actually talking about. Okay, this is one LLM which I've installed locally. I'm using that as an LLM model. Okay, let's go back to this slide. Okay, and for the logic happens, right? As I said before, these are the logics which happens, which I've written a logic saying that in Python, which will do all the communication between your RAG to your LLM and the Hugging Face, right? What happened? The workflow basically, the orchestration basically, like when I feed this data, what happened next? Like I've created a chatbot. When I feed the data, what exactly the next phase should be? Like it's basically a distribution across different Python code, right? So I've written a Python code in my local laptop, which will be doing all the logics happening, right? I have created a HTML JavaScript front end, which will get my file, and it will go back to the logic saying that, okay, this the question is all about, and you answer that question using this logic. All right. This is the simple service which I'm using it. I'll walk you through the demo right now. Okay. All right, so coming back to the demo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the demo right now. Okay, let's go to, okay. All right. So if you just see this one, right now I'm using the, what do you call the demo? All right. RAG chatbot local Ollama. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload my file. Okay. What is the file? A file which is already stored in my laptop. Okay, I'll show you what exactly the file is all about. Okay, this file is nothing but AWS AI Certificate Practitioner, which I completed recently. I've taken a PDF file. So I want to upload this file into my RAG, okay? And I'm going to ask the question, right? So imagine these are the more like how many pages you have the document. It's almost 19 pages, right? It's very difficult for me to go and read all the 19 pages. Practically not possible, right? As a human, it's very difficult for me to. I can definitely read, but it needs time. I need some maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour to read this one. Imagine if there is a document which has 1,000 pages. If you have 1,000 files, a human cannot read this one, but we can make it easy by using AI, right? So how we are going to do it? That's the logic which we are going to do it right now. So I've uploaded this file and uploaded it here. Okay, it says that uploaded successfully chunks. As I said before, whenever you feed the LLM, it will actually do the embedding process, right? And it'll it'll be ready. It will be stored in the vectors, right? So that's how the process happened. Even for a file, it will actually do the embedding process. Not only for the chat. Whenever you upload the file, your LLM, the embedding happens in the background. Okay, so upload it. So what I'm going to ask is, I don't know, I have not opened the file right now. I've closed it. I've uploaded here. I'm going to ask the question to the chatbot. The chatbot will actually go and retrieve the file and gives me the back to the chatbot. Okay, so I'm going to ask it, what is the certification code for this? Okay, I'm going to give a send. Okay. One thing you need to understand, this is not so please excuse me, there's a delay, okay? Because I've installed a 20 GB of Ollama software in my local laptop. My laptop is already like 90% full. So that's the reason you can see some experience in slowness, some latency issue. Otherwise, if it's a cloud, of course, it should be very fast. I'm going to because APIs are very expensive, so I don't want to try and explore more of money in the beginning. So I've installed that Ollama in my local laptop. It is actually happening in the background. Okay, so I've already experienced that and I've already tested it's working. So for a demo, I'm just showing that. So what happened once you give this one, this will actually do an embedding again. So it will actually do all your embedding process. It will look for your next print, right? So next prediction will not happen from your trained model. It'll actually happen from your stored file, right? And it'll look for the combinations and it gives back your answers, right? I'm asking what is the certification code for this particular certification, right? So it is taking a time to read the data and it will fetch that information back to us. Okay. Usually it will not take much time. Why it's taking time? As I said before, the L stored in my local laptop, which is 20 gig of file. It is doing a lot of process in the background because it has to do embedding with Hugging Face and it has to go to the LLM and do the text generation and it has to come back to the chatbot and respond it. So that's the reason. If it is a hosted one, it will be like, super fast. Okay. So that's the reason many organizations will actually host everything in cloud and the latency will be very less. Okay. So that's the reason because or else you have to have a GPU, GPU kind of specifications where you have enough speed which can deliver very fast. Okay. See, it took almost a minute of time to respond back to my question. Okay. It says that certification code of example is A1FC01. Okay. So let's go and verify that. Okay, what exactly, if whether the answer is right or not. It says that yes, A1FC01. Okay, it is giving the right answer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask the next question saying that what is the certification name? Okay, certification. I'm going to ask you certification name. Yeah. You can ask me any question, but I want to keep it very simple because it will be easy for understanding. Someone is not knowing what exactly the AI and what RAG is all about for the first time, they will definitely misunderstand. So for them to keep it in short, I want to give exactly the name so people will understand and keep it in memory. So I'm asking the chatbot right now, hey, go back and check to the file saying that what is the certification name? Because I'm not having a certification name. I have only the code for this one. I want to know what exactly the certification name is all about. Okay. So now, as I said before, it do all the embedding process. You do a vectors and go back to the file and check the vectors and check the combinations and gives you the exact combination back to my chatbot. So this logic happens by the FastAPI, which is Python. It's nothing but an endpoint which connects all your connect, like, it connects your chatbot, which is JavaScript, HTML, and it goes to the Hugging Face. We do the embedding process, and it connects to your LLM, which is Ollama, and again comes back and gives you the answers, right? So that's the process all about. So please be patient to understand what exactly is all about. And if you have any questions, please do drop in my comment box, and I'm happy to we can have a discussion on that. So I've asked the question. It'll definitely fix the answer. Okay. You need to have a patient to wait for this, because we are not installs on the GPU, which I've installed in a local laptop, which is nothing but a CPU in my laptop. That's the reason it takes a lot of time. I'm waiting for the answer. It should give the right answer. Let's get crossed. Okay. Come on, buddy. What is the certification name? Why are you taking so much time? Okay. The answer should be, okay, let's go back and check. Okay. The answer should be like, it should say that the certification name is AWS Certified AI Practitioner. Okay. That should be the answer which has to be given by this chatbot. Okay. Let's wait and expect the answer from the RAG chatbot, which is running on Ollama and Hugging Face, powered by AI. Okay. If it is on hosted machine, definitely it'll be super fast. But my API is exhausted. I was using Together AI and Hugging Face earlier, but my API has been exhausted. My subscription got over, and so that's the reason I could not do it. Okay. See, you got the answer. Certification name is AI Certified AI Practitioner. Okay, it's cool, right? Okay, one more question I'm going to ask it, and I'm going to wrap it today. I'm not going to wait for make you bored. I'm going to ask it, what is the passing score for this certification? Okay, so I'm just giving a random question. Okay, I'm not giving anything. Like, I'm just giving a random. I'm just chatting with the chatbot, like what I need. Okay, I've uploaded a document in the RAG system, and I'm chatting with chatbot. I'm not even opening a file, what exactly the file is. I don't know what exactly the file is all about. But the RAG is doing all the process for me, right? It's a private data. It's not a trained model, right? It's not this certificate, this PDF I've just uploaded just in front of you guys, right? So it is reading the file and gives you the exact output, what exactly we need for that, right? So this is something which can be done in many organizations. As I said, like, you can implement in hospitals, you can implement in any of your industries which you really need for documentation purposes. For example, if you are using heavily on the documentation, when you want to fetch the data from the documents, and this AI used and using a RAG which can be used, right? You need not to go and search manually, or like, you can just need not to worry about the naming standard and everything. Okay, you just put everything on the RAG system, and RAG will actually tell you what exactly it's all about. See, the minimum passing score of AWS Certified AI Practitioner exam is 700, right? It's cool, right? Let's go back and check what exactly is all about. I'm going to search pass. Okay. Say that it says that the exam has passed a fail exam. Your result has reported 700. The minimum passing score is 700. Okay. The minimum score is passing 700. See, it gives you exact. But you cannot, I don't think it should be, you will not have the template. Okay. I'm just going and giving this one. See, it is not giving any of the template. Based on your question, it understands, it do all the embedding process, vector process, and gives you the answer. See, I'm copying that complete sentence and pasting it. It is not giving the template, right? It is giving you from your LLM itself, right? Okay, great. I hope you understand what exactly the RAG is all about. I will upload the coding in my GitHub. Please feel free to check, and if you can try it, feel free to do it. And thank you so much for your watching this video. Please do comment, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to take it. Okay, thank you so much.